She was fired for bringing her son to work, until the new CEO walked in and said, "I was that kid." The office went silent. Then came the cold voice of HR. "You know the rules, Mia. No children at work. You're terminated, effective immediately." Mia tightened her grip on her 9-year-old son's hand as her vision blurred. She had pleaded, explained, begged. Nothing mattered. Her little boy looked up at her, scared, and just like that, she was forced to leave, humiliated, heartbroken. But Mia didn't see the sleek black car pulling up outside, or the man inside watching her walk away. His jaw clenched. He knew that walk, because once he had been that forgotten kid sitting in a corner cubicle, wondering why his mother was crying. Mia Carter, single mom, fierce worker, and survivor, had spent a decade building her career. She never missed a deadline, never took shortcuts, but life doesn't care about resumes. When her sitter canceled last minute, and her boss said not my problem, Mia made a choice. She brought Noah to work, snacks, tablet, quiet corner, no harm done, until HR found out. Now jobless, rent due in 2 weeks, and her pride in pieces, Mia stepped into the sunlight. Just as a deep voice called out behind her, "Wait," she turned. A tall man in a sharp navy suit stood at the top of the steps. He looked right at her. "You're Mia Carter." She nodded, confused. "I'm Daniel Reeves, the new CEO." Her heart sank. The CEO everyone had been whispering about. And she had just been fired in front of him, but then he said something that stopped her breath. "I was that kid once." He didn't offer her job back on the spot. Instead, he invited her to talk. In his office, he told her a story she never expected. 30 years ago, my mom brought me to work because she had no choice. She was fired that day. We lost everything. I swore if I ever had the power to change that, I would. Mia's chest ached. Was this a second chance, or just another letdown? HR protested. "The board will never go for this. Policies are policies." Daniel's voice dropped. "Then we change the policies." And that's exactly what happened. 1 week later, Mia wasn't just reinstated. She was promoted, and Daniel announced a revolutionary new policy, on-site childcare for all employees, but not everyone cheered. Some whispered. Old-timers rolled their eyes. Then the bomb dropped. An anonymous complaint claiming Mia had manipulated the CEO for her own benefit. The board demanded an investigation. It was brutal. Mia sat under harsh lights while executives picked apart her life, her parenting, her worth. Daniel stood by her, but even he had limits. "If this doesn't go our way," he told her quietly, "I'll help you land on your feet, but I may not be able to stop them from firing you again." Mia blinked back tears. How many parents have sat in this very chair, she wondered, punished for simply being a parent? Have you ever had to choose between your job and your child? Pause for a second, share your story below. You're not alone. The final decision came down to one man, an old school board member who had voted no from the start. Mia stood silently as he reviewed his notes. Then he sighed. "My daughter just had a baby. She's terrified of this exact scenario." He looked at Mia. "Times change. We need to change too." The policy passed. 1 year later, employee morale was at an all-time high. Noah had his own little desk in the child care center, where he proudly did his math homework. And Mia, she sat across from Daniel in a high-stakes strategy meeting, presenting her latest initiative. He grinned. "Firing you might have been the best thing I ever did." She laughed. "Funny, I was just thinking the same thing." Sunlight spilled through the windows onto a future full of second chances. This one's for every parent who's been punished for doing their best. Hit that like button if you believe we can build better workplaces. Maybe someone who needs to see this finally will.